Ambassador Zethkree's four eyes blinked in rapid succession as the human fleet materialized from hyperspace. The sleek vessels hung in the void like predators, their angular hulls bristling with weapon arrays that made the Galactic Council's ceremonial escort ships look like children's toys. "This was not the arrangement," Zethkree whispered into his communicator, his translator struggling to convey the tremor in his voice to the council chambers. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the UES Indomitable, her weathered hands clasped behind her back as she surveyed the assembled alien vessels through the main view screen. Beside her, Captain Rodriguez pulled up the tactical display, highlighting the 17 different species ships arranged in what the Council had called a welcoming formation. "Admiral," Rodriguez said quietly, "they're broadcasting on all frequencies. Sounds like they're confused." Chen allowed herself a thin smile. "I imagine they are, Captain. Patch me through to their lead vessel." The view screen shimmered, revealing the insectoid features of Ambassador Zethkree. Behind him, Chen could see other alien dignitaries, the gaseous Etherians floating in their containment suits, the crystalline Shardborn reflecting the chamber's lights like living prisms, and dozens of others she'd studied in the intelligence briefings. "Greetings, Admiral Chen," Zethkree began, his mandibles clicking nervously. "The Galactic Council extends its welcome to humanity. However, we were expecting your diplomatic vessel, not a battle fleet." Chen stepped forward, her expression unchanging. "Ambassador, you're looking at our diplomatic vessel. The rest are security escorts." A ripple of agitation passed through the alien council members visible on the screen. The Vorthon representative, a being that looked like an upright whale, with too many arms, spoke in a voice like grinding stone. "Security escorts? The Accords of Peaceful Contact explicitly state that first meetings between species are to be conducted with minimal military presence. A single unarmed vessel was the agreement." "That was your agreement," Chen replied evenly, "not ours." Zethkree's translator sparked as it processed emotions it had never encountered before. "Admiral, surely you understand the protocol. For 3,000 years, new species have joined the Council through peaceful dialogue. We offer technology, trade partnerships, cultural exchange." "What you offer," Chen interrupted, her voice cutting through the diplomatic pleasantries like a blade, "is subjugation wrapped in pretty words." The silence that followed was deafening. Even the background hum of the various alien vessels seemed to pause. Dr. Maya Okafor, humanities xenobiologist and the expedition's civilian advisor, stepped into view beside Chen. Her dark eyes held a sadness that somehow made her words more threatening than any weapon. "We've been watching you for longer than you know, monitoring your communications, studying your methods. We know what happened to the Kepler colony." Zethkree's exoskeleton began to darken, a sign of extreme distress among his species. "The Kepler humans chose integration. The Kepler humans were stripped of their technology, their culture, their independence," Chen said. "Their children were educated in council schools, taught that human ways were primitive and dangerous. Within 2 generations, they'd forgotten they were ever human at all." The crystalline Shardborn representative chimed in, its voice like wind through crystal caves. "Integration preserves peace. Individual species' aggressive tendencies must be moderated for the greater harmony." Captain Rodriguez couldn't help but snort. "Moderated? That's a nice word for cultural genocide." Admiral Chen raised her hand and Rodriguez fell silent. She had learned to read her admiral's moods over their 15 years of service together. Chen was furious, but it was the cold, calculating fury of someone who had seen too much of the galaxy's true nature. "Here's what's going to happen," Chen said, her voice carrying the authority of Earth's combined military forces. "Humanity will establish our own colonies where we choose. We will trade with whom we wish on terms we set. And any species that threatens human settlements will answer to the Terran Defense Fleet." "This is unacceptable." The Vorthon's massive form quivered with outrage. "The Council maintains peace through unity. Individual species operating outside our framework leads to chaos, to war. Your framework leads to stagnation, Dr. Okafor interjected. 3,000 years of the same technology, the same social structures, the same carefully managed decline into comfortable mediocrity. Do you know what we've accomplished in the 50 years since we discovered faster than light travel? We've colonized 47 worlds, developed 17 new forms of energy generation, and created art that would make your poets weep if you still had poets. Chen nodded approvingly. The galaxy doesn't need your peace, Ambassador. It needs competition. It needs growth. It needs the chaos that comes from species pursuing their own destinies instead of surrendering them to a committee. The alien council members began speaking over each other, their translators creating a cacophony of protests and threats. Through it all, Admiral Chen stood motionless, watching, waiting. Finally, Zethkri raised his upper arms for silence. Admiral Chen, surely we can reach some accommodation. The Council has resources, knowledge accumulated over millennia. Keep it, Chen said simply. We'll make our own way. She gestured to Rodriguez, who began barking orders to the fleet. The human warships shifted formation, their weapon systems powering up with an unmistakable hum that every species in known space had learned to fear from their own histories. We're not here to conquer you, Chen continued as the council members stared at the display of human military might. We're here to inform you that the age of your careful, managed galaxy is over. Humanity has arrived, and we'll succeed or fail on our own terms. The transmission ended with a soft chime, leaving the council chamber in stunned silence. Outside the viewports, the human fleet began to disperse, each ship heading toward a different vector of space. Ambassador Zethkri slumped in his ceremonial chair, his exoskeleton now completely black with stress. What have we done? He whispered. The Etherian's voice drifted like smoke through the chamber. We offered them peace. They chose war instead. But as the last human ship disappeared into hyperspace, Zethkri couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't war the humans had chosen. It was something far more dangerous. They had chosen freedom,